At 22 years old, Puleng finally received something she had been dreaming about for years: her very first salary. After graduating with a marketing degree and struggling to find a job in her field, she finally got employment at a clothing store in Randburg. Her salary? 7,000 Rand per month. Now, for some people, 7,000 Rand may not sound like a fortune, but to Puleng, it felt like she had won the lottery. She opened her banking app, saw the salary notification, and smiled. Finally, she said, no more asking my mother for money. I am officially an independent woman. But there was one small problem. Puleng was spending money like she was earning 70,000 Rand. And the biggest shock came 2 years later, when she finally got her dream marketing job, a job paying almost 3 times more. But when she applied for a car loan, the bank looked at her credit score and basically said, "Ma'am, your money history has a story to tell." Because while Puleng was building her wardrobe, her credit score was building a crisis. So how did a young woman with a degree, dreams, and a good heart end up damaging her financial future before her career even started? Let's meet Puleng. Puleng was a 22-year-old young woman living in Randburg, Johannesburg. She was the last-born child in her family. Her mother was a hard-working high school teacher, and her older brother was a police officer. Unlike many young people who had to immediately support their families financially, Puleng actually had a little breathing room. She lived at home, her mother helped with groceries, her brother helped where he could. But Puleng had one problem. She loved looking successful. Not because she was arrogant, not because she wanted to show off, but because she believed looking successful meant she was successful. And honestly, many young people can relate, because social media can make it feel like everybody is winning. Someone is buying a new car. Someone is traveling to Cape Town. Someone is wearing designer clothes. And suddenly your own life starts looking boring. Puleng would scroll through Instagram and think, everyone my age is living their best life. Why am I still wearing clothes from last season? And that is where the trouble started. One day, Puleng walked into a clothing store and saw a beautiful jacket. The jacket was 1,200 Rand. She looked at the price tag. Then she looked at herself in the mirror. Then she looked back at the jacket. And she said, "Listen, this jacket is not an expense. This jacket is an investment in my confidence." The problem? The jacket did not increase her salary. It only increased her monthly stress. Puleng was smart. She had a degree, she had dreams, she was hardworking. But nobody had ever taught her how to manage her first salary. Nobody sat her down and explained, your first salary is not just money to spend. It is a tool to build your future. So when payday arrived, Puleng treated it like Christmas. Every month. Let's look at Puleng's 7,000 Rand salary. Because sometimes the problem is not only how much money you earn, the problem is what happens after the money arrives. Puleng's monthly income. Salary, 7,000 Rand. Her monthly spending. Transport, 1,200 Rand. Puleng travelled to work every day. Taxi fares, occasional Bolt rides when she was late. Because according to Puleng, being late for work is expensive, but looking good while arriving late, also expensive. Airtime and data, 350 Rand. Because she needed data for WhatsApp, Instagram, TikTok, checking what everyone else was doing with their money. Clothing accounts. Account 1, 500 Rand. Account 2, 600 Rand. Account 4, 400 Rand. Total, 1,500 Rand. Beauty and lifestyle. Hair, 700 Rand. Nails, 350 Rand. Eating out, 600 Rand. Total, 1,650 Rand. Helping at home, contribution, 500 Rand. Miscellaneous spending, coffee, snacks, random shopping, 600 Rand. Total spending, transport, 1,200 Rand. Data, 350 Rand. Clothing accounts, 1,500 Rand. Beauty and lifestyle, 1,650 Rand. Home contribution, 500 Rand. Random spending, 600 Rand. Total, 5,800 Rand. Money remaining, 1,200 Rand. Sounds okay, right? Except Puleng forgot about one thing. Debt. Every month she was paying for things she bought months ago. That beautiful jacket, still being paid. Those shoes, still being paid. That expensive handbag, still being paid. And the funny thing about store accounts, when you buy something, you remember the excitement. But months later, when the debit order comes off your account, the excitement has left the building. Puleng would open her banking app on payday. She would see salary received plus 7,000 Rand. 5 minutes later, debit orders minus 3,500 Rand. Puleng, wait, who touched my money? The answer? Future Puleng. Future Puleng was collecting bills from past Puleng. But slowly, something started changing. The excitement of buying things disappeared, and anxiety started replacing it. Puleng started checking her bank balance less, because sometimes ignorance feels easier than seeing the truth. She would tell herself, I'll fix it next month. But next month came, and the problem became bigger. Hey family, let's talk about Puleng. First, I want to say something important. Puleng is not a bad person. She is not lazy. She is not a failure. She is a young woman who made financial decisions without having the right information. Many people receive their first salary and immediately feel free. And honestly, I understand. After years of studying, job hunting, and asking family for help, that first salary feels like freedom. Sometimes your first salary enters your account and suddenly you feel like you are the CEO of your life. You start walking differently. You start looking at expensive restaurants. You start saying things like, it's only 500 Rand. But here is the problem. 10 500 Rand decisions can become 5,000 Rand. And suddenly your salary is gone before you even understand what happened. Your credit score is basically a record of how you manage borrowed money. It looks at things like whether you pay accounts on time and how much debt you have. Puleng damaged her credit score because she opened accounts, spent money, and struggled to maintain payments. But here is the good news. A credit score is not a life sentence. You can rebuild it through consistent, responsible habits. Step 1. Stop adding new debt. Before opening another account, ask yourself, can I afford this from my current income? Step 2. Know your numbers. Money becomes scary when it feels unknown. Write down how much comes in, how much goes out, what debt you have. Step 3. Create financial goals. Your salary needs jobs. Every Rand should have a purpose. And family, remember this. Money stress affects your emotions. When you constantly worry about money, it can affect your sleep, confidence, relationships, and decision-making. Taking control of your finances is not just about having more money. It is about creating peace. Puleng decided she was tired of feeling stressed. She did not suddenly become rich. She did not magically pay everything off overnight. She simply started making better decisions. Small decisions. Puleng's new budget. Income, salary 7,000 rand. Needs, transport 1,200. Home contribution 500. Airtime, data 250. Groceries 500. Personal care 400. Total needs 2,850 rand. Debt payments. Clothing accounts 1,500. Savings. Emergency fund 500. Fun money. Entertainment 400. Remaining amount used toward reducing debt faster. Now, some people might look at 500 rand savings and say, that's too little. But let's remember something. 500 rand every month becomes 6,000 rand in 1 year. And more importantly, it creates confidence. Because now when something unexpected happened, Puleng did not immediately panic. 3 months later, her phone charger broke. Before, God, why me? After, I have emergency savings. Charger, you picked the wrong person today. For the first time, Puleng felt in control. Not because she had everything figured out, but because she finally understood her money. A year later, something exciting happened. Puleng finally got the opportunity she had been waiting for. A marketing position. Her dream job. Her salary increased significantly. She was excited. She immediately thought, now I can finally get my car. But there was one problem. Her credit score. When she applied for finance, she discovered that her past money decisions were still affecting her. The missed payments, the accounts, the debt, they had created a financial history. I thought earning more money would fix everything. And this is such an important lesson. More money does not automatically fix money problems. If your habits do not change, a bigger salary can simply create bigger spending. But Puleng did not give up. She continued, paying accounts on time, reducing debt, saving consistently, avoiding unnecessary credit, learning about money. Slowly, her credit score improved. Her confidence improved. Her relationship with money improved. She learned being financially successful is not about looking rich. It is about having peace. Family, Puleng's story teaches us something important. Your first salary is exciting. Celebrate it. But also protect it. Your money today can either build your future or create stress for your future self. If you are struggling with debt or money mistakes, remember, you are not alone. Many people are learning financial lessons they were never taught. Start small. Check your bank balance. Create a budget. Pay one account. Save your first 100 rand. Every positive decision matters.
Remember, financial freedom doesn't happen overnight. It starts with one small decision, one small habit, and one step at a time. So less stress and greater peace. You don't have to be perfect. You just have to keep moving forward. And remember, your money struggles do not define who you are. Please subscribe if you enjoyed today's story. And share your advice for Puleng in the comments. I'm Monica, your finance big sister. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next story.